So we move forward with this investigation on possible war crimes. Jim Garrity at National Review yesterday had a wonderful summation of the chaos that's been going on today. Listen, if you would just said this from the beginning, it might be okay, but here's all the different iterations we've been through last Friday. You keep changing your story. Then we find out yesterday that Pete Hegseth himself is sounding even more strident about what the Democratic senators said in that video back in 2016 when there was a Democrat in the White House. And then we find out this morning, the reporting that, of course, the JAG officer quit because of real problems with what was going on in Venezuela. And then regarding his top Admiral Halsey, who resigned, he said, you're either on the team or not. When you get an order, you move fast and you don't ask questions. When you get an order, you don't ask questions. Now, let's just back up for 1 second. Most conservative, serious conservative thinkers like Andy McCarthy, Jack Goldsmith, others, they think this entire operation is illegal. Yeah. Not the double tap. They think the entire operation is not a war. George Will put it very, very well yesterday when he said, Pete Hegseth committed a war crime without a war. Right. That's quite an accomplishment. So it is a real mess, and you have the top admiral and the top JAG officer going, no, this doesn't look right. And again, it's all going to come out, even though they're scrambling around and trying to protect themselves. There's no protecting themselves from the truth.
And imagine being that career admiral, Admiral Halsey, who you just talked about in this incredible piece in the Wall Street Journal, and being told by Pete Hegseth, get on board or else. And when you get an order,
don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions, pal. That's what Pete Hegseth is saying to these admirals. So we will hear from Admiral Martin this morning when he talks to Congress. And the explanation we're hearing a little bit is that maybe these two guys who survived were attempting to get back on the boat and somehow continue the mission. This flaming, smoking vessel that these guys were going to climb back on board and continue their drug run. That's one of the reports.
Which is totally insane.
Which is insane, right? Yeah. That's part of the spin we're hearing this morning, that those two people were still a threat, therefore the double tap
to be annihilated.
Was warranted. But again, that's just today's explanation.
That's today's explanation.
Different every day.
And then there's also they had a radio and they were radioing. Does that mean now the new sort of rules of warfare is if you have a prisoner and they're indefensible and they have a radio, you can shoot them in the head? Right. That's now the new Hegseth policy. If they have a radio, you can shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
Forget the war crimes. Forget what the U.S. Army manual says. Forget what the DOD manual says. So yeah, they're making shit up as they go along every day. And the inconsistency of it all, again, looks very bad.
Hegseth is still claiming fog of war, which is to say there's a lot of stuff that goes on in war in the moment that you got to just accept.
Utterly ridiculous. Okay.